Hello, today I shall deliberate upon the Nobel Prize in Economics awarded to the three economists Darren Asimov, Simon Johnson, and James Robinson. These three economists have received Economics Nobel Prize this year because of their work, which focuses on the role of institutions in helping the shape of economic prosperity of the nations. That is how institutions play a significant role in determining the long-term economic prosperity of nations. This throws a crucial insight into the fact that why some nations are rich and why some nations are poor. Their research is based upon the role of institutions, particularly during the period of European colonization. Through their research, they have found out that inclusive institutions tend to increase economic prosperity, tend to increase the wealth of a nation in the long run. By inclusive institutions, they mean that there would be broader political participation and also there will be protection of different democratic rights. Whereas, on the other hand, extractive institutions tend to decline the growth prospect of a nation. In case of extractive institutions, the power is concentrated in the hands of the elite class only. So, they enjoy the benefits or the fruits of prosperity at the cost of the general population. In order to explain that, they have devised some theoretical tools through which they have explained why these institutional differences persist and how these differences can be removed. By this, they have provided a real world solution or a near realistic solution to the problems of global inequality and also to poverty and prosperity of different nations. Through their research, they have also contributed so many key findings, added so many key findings to their study. For example, number one, the role of inclusive institutions. They have provided an analysis that the inclusive institutions which encourage broader political participation along with the protection of property rights. This protection of property rights and enjoying other democratic rights helps in boosting innovation, level of investment, and leads to a higher level of economic growth, that too in a sustainable way. Here, the work culture becomes so enthusiastic that it provides an incentive to the people to work, save, and invest in future. Secondly, impact of extractive institutions. According to their research, they point out that extractive institutions where power is concentrated in the hands of an elite class, they use that power and earn only short-run gains for themselves. And in general, the population is deprived, the larger section of the population is deprived from the fruits of the prosperity, which is captured by the elite few only. So it indirectly implies the non-democratic nature of the institution, which they call extractive, which doesn't take into consideration the privileges or the prosperity of the whole. Inclusiveness, it doesn't consider the inclusiveness. They have explained it in the context of the European colonization era, thirdly, the colonial legacy, they explained that. That is, wherever the colonizers have built up extractive institutions, by that they mean that just to exploit the resources of the colony. And they exploit the resources, take away it, and they go away from the colony to their native places. Those places, those countries are very often remain poor. Whereas on the other hand, when the colonizers have decided to become settlers of the colony, they have built inclusive institutions because they themselves have settled there. Take, for example, the case of America. So, those colonies later on become rich nations because of this establishment of inclusive institutions during the period of colonial era. Then, last, fourth, they have discussed the theoretical framework for institutional differences or institutional change. That is, they developed theoretical models to explain that why these institutional differences persist or exist and how those can be changed. According to them, these institutional differences can be changed, although it is very difficult and complex, but it is not impossible. So there are methods to change these institutional differences is through democratic means. For example, when population pressure from the population, that is from conscious citizens and also the conscious social, political and economic groups, organizations, they come forward to put pressure on the ruling class. Then due to this pressure and demand, the institutional changes can occur. So, this institutional study, how institutions play an important role, this provides a real life solution, a practical and pragmatic solution to do away with the global disparity, inequitability, and also to attain a sustainable economic development which would be inclusive in nature. Thank you.